Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, and I'm Marcia, your platform assistant for today. Welcome to everyone here in our sanctuary and in our Zoom room. And thank you for joining us today at Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies. Today's guest musician is Joe Uvegas. He and his daughter Katie performed for us in June as a duo. And today we welcome Joe back as a solo performance. A little background refresher on Joe. He has been performing and writing songs on Colorado's Front Range for more than 20 years. He has 8 CDs, a movie credit, publishing credits, and is a 4-time Best of winner in Colorado Springs. A warm Unity welcome to you, Joe.
Thanks, Marcia. Thanks, David.
And here is our inclusivity statement. Unity in the Rockies is an inclusive community. We welcome all people, races, genders, gender identities, and relational orientations. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're welcome right here. And please join me for our mission statement that will come up on the screens. We are an inclusive spiritual community where we recognize and express our oneness with our Creator and all creation. And settle in for today's announcements. Adventures in Prosperity, the key to your destiny. Sign up today. We will study Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks over a 7-week period, starting Sunday, September 17th, when we together explore the book. And then we take a deeper dive into it through small groups, both online and in person, over the next 7 weeks. It's going to be a powerful experience for us as individuals, as well as a community. So see the e-blast and the Unity website for book and group registration details. And Susan in the hallway. Please support Westside Care's Food Pantry and Clothes Closet this month. September is one of 4 months annually that the Unity community is asked to provide food, toiletry, and clothing items for Westside Cares. See the e-blast. Unity in the Rockies is hiring. We're looking for a part-time music director, a part-time facilities coordinator sexton, and a graphic artist. If you are interested, please contact us at unityrockies.org. Tell us a little bit about yourself and include your resume. And if you know someone who would be perfect for one of these positions, please provide your referral. Unity cookbooks are available to purchase after the service. See your lotter at the cookbook table in the foyer. And last, Harry Potter wand making workshop. The workshop is scheduled for September 9th and 10th from noon to 2 p.m. And you can register today with Rick at his table in the foyer. Welcome to the light on the Mesa.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning. My name is Jean Dutton. I'm one of your prayer chaplains. Our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you after the service in front of the platform here after today's service. Linda, Anthony, and myself will be available. Whether you are in a place of celebration or challenge, please take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Also, written prayer requests can be placed in the prayer box in the lobby at any time. Today's message is from Daily Word, Sunday, September 3rd. Honoring the divine presence within, I am refreshed. Stretching and yawning after a good sleep, enjoying a brisk walk in the early morning, or sipping a replenishing drink after workout or time in the sun. I feel refreshed. I move forward into my next activity with a renewed feeling of well-being. Building upon and refreshing my knowledge may relieve me from thinking too much about my obligations. Spending time with a good book or revisiting favorite passages from my favorite writing can give me a relaxing mental pause. I find many opportunities to refresh my awareness that God, the divine presence, is with me wherever I am, whatever I am doing. It takes only a moment to find God's presence reflected in the people and animals I encounter, and in the natural beauty that surrounds me. Romans chapter 15, verse 32 says, "So that by God's will I may come to you with joy and be refreshed in your company."
Thank you so much for having me back again. I was thinking about it the other day, and I realized it's probably been 25, 26 years that I've been coming here. It's been that long. So I have to thank Linda Anthony for this next song. She gave me a CD about 4 years ago, and it was written. There we go. Sorry about that, Mark. She gave me a CD about 4 years ago, and the CD was by a guy named Chris Chickering, who I guess is somewhat noteworthy in the Unity community. And when I saw what David was talking about today, I thought this is the perfect song to start the service with. It's called Nothing Less Than This. Look at you, how you light up when you smile, how you mesmerize the room when you're walking through and got you down. That ain't where you're meant to stay. Tomorrow's on your side, the universe. Look inside, the sun is shining. And free your mind and let your spirit wander and sail right through the heavy clouds that you've been under. You belong out where the laughter lives. So fall into your happiness, 'cause you were meant for nothing less than this. You summer child, innocence lives in your soul. Sometimes you pay the price for the not so nice. Just be yourself, 'cause better things are on the way. You can trust the fact the universe has got your back. So free your mind and let your spirit wander and sail right through the heavy clouds that you've been under. You belong out where the laughter lives. So fall into your happiness, 'cause you were meant for nothing less than this. Hey, won't you think about it? Just dream your dreams out loud and live your life, 'cause it's your time. And free your mind, let your spirit wander, and sail right through the heavy clouds that you've been under. You belong out where the laughter lives. So fall into your happiness, 'cause you were meant for nothing less than this. Nothing less than this. Nothing less than this. Thank you.
Joe Vegas, thank you, Joe. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank
Oh
you,
my
Linda.
goodness. Good morning. Love and blessings to you all on this wonderful holiday weekend. Thank you for choosing to be with us on this gorgeous summer, fall, wherever we're at in this moment, we know that it's perfect. My name's Dr. David Goldberg, and it's my great joy to serve as minister of this extraordinary community. If you're with us for the first time, know that you're welcome. Know that we welcome you into the center of this community, whatever that looks like and whatever that feels like for you. And we will happily continue the conversation to see how we might support you wherever you are on your spiritual journey. Gesundheit. So just as so many folks are heading back to school, oh my gosh, we're heading back to church after a very busy summer. So if you happen to step away for a moment, we started August with our big band fundraising event. We moved all the furniture. We had a big band on stage. We had dancing. We had a great time. The event was underwritten by a beloved soul who had never set foot in the building before. She is supportive of me. She is supportive of our message, and she just wanted to spread a little joy. So we're grateful for that exhibition of prosperity and abundance. We also moved forward with repurposing our bookstore. Most ably led by Patricia Yeager on our board. We had 2 weeks of sales to release things back out into the universe, better on people's nightstands than on our bookshelves. Your board also met in retreat for a day and a half to spend time together to build our board as a team to better serve you in this community. And we had Dr. Regina Lewis as our guest speaker in the middle of the month, leading up to our MLK service last week. Oh my goodness. So I just wanted you all to know that we created this orange sheet of paper called the Who to Call Protocol. And it's if you have a question about anything, this is specifically for last weekend for the MLK service. If you had a question about anything, there's a name and a number on here for you to call. There were 19 lines. A few people were mentioned more than once, but we had somewhere around 12 or 15 people who were serving as team leads for so many more beloveds who participated in that service. So I just wanted to acknowledge each and every person who came together to celebrate MLK, to celebrate the 60th anniversary of I Have a Dream, to reignite your own dream, and to share that in our community. Yeah? Thank you so much. Oh, and speaking of prosperity and abundance, as we step into that, we have a new dishwasher in the fellowship hall. Yay! I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but we can dirty all the dishes we want now. Just kidding, Donna. Just kidding. So thank you for everyone who stepped forward to participate in that effort. We put up the visioning piece. Everybody responded. The stars aligned. And it's been beautifully installed by Pat, and we are grateful. So all of that to say, my friends, is we are living prosperous and abundant lives. And it's exciting to be able to step into that and to talk about that and what that might mean for you individually as well as for our community. So as we move into that part of our service then, as we move into the message, the sermon, the talk, whatever your term of art, whatever your term of choice, please join me in just a moment of grounding meditation. I invite you to place both feet on the floor if that's comfortable, to soften your eyes, and just allow yourself to be fully present. Releasing the busyness of the morning, knowing that you got here and that was your objective, and you did so with grace, and you did so with beauty, and you did so with ease. No, the Tao tells us that the sacred is making the mundane special. So thank you for choosing to make your journey here this morning sacred. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with us and for us as we begin our exploration of prosperity, as we begin our exploration of abundance. I invite you just into a moment of reflection of what those terms mean to you. What does it mean to be prosperous? What does it mean to be abundant? And so I know that that is good and right and perfect for you. And I invite you to share that with your fellow congregants, with our guests, with anyone with whom you choose to share your truth, to stand in your vision and your power and your knowledge. Let us know that with you and for you. And so I just bless this time that we have already shared, that we will continue to share. I call it divinely appointed. I call it divinely inspired. I call it blessed and a blessing. Thank you, Spirit. And we anchor this together by saying, and so it is. And so, my friends, in the words of St. Matthew, in the book of Matthew, we get, ask and it shall be given you, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. Matthew 7:7. Mark, can you turn me down just a little bit, please? I'm getting some feedback. And not the good kind. So that was Matthew in his direct and succinct way. Our beloved founder, Charles Fillmore, love him dearly, getting to know more about him every day, tends to be a little bit more obtuse on this particular subject. Please bear with me. Charles writes, "It is necessary to give freely if we are to receive freely. The law of receiving includes giving. The knowledge that substance is omnipresent and that people, therefore, cannot impoverish themselves by giving, but rather will increase their supply, will enable us to give freely and cheerfully." Took me a few times through that. I'll give you a moment. What I'm getting as I honorably paraphrase Charles Fillmore, substance is omnipresent. We cannot impoverish ourselves by giving. So when we give, it's not detracting from us. What we know is that everything is on a continuum, including resources, including money, including prosperity, including abundance. And what else did he tell us? It is necessary to give freely if we are to receive freely, right? So giving and receiving are all a part of the same deal. Anybody consider yourself a caregiver or a giver? Anybody like to give? Yeah, I see more than a few hands going up. So I invite you to consider, my friends, that receiving is a part of the giving cycle. So for everybody who raised your hand, for everybody who's a giver, you get to learn to become more comfortable with receiving. Because if you truly love to give, and I believe that you do, then you have to afford other people that opportunity. I can always be the giver, I can always be the doer, I can always be the one out there. And if I'm not receiving, if I'm not good at receiving, if I don't like to receive, then I'm not allowing other people that same opportunity that brings me joy. Does that make sense? Is that resonating somewhere along the line there? So, as we step into this work of ask and it is given, so much to unpack. So many of us think of ourselves as generous. And I love this piece that just came out this week. Basically, it says that there was a study that was done. 200 people in 7 countries around the world were given $10,000. Any of you given $10,000 for free with no strings attached? I thought we should have lunch. Maybe we should invite them, right? So this was a study on generosity. And all the people had to do was report how they spent their money. And the bottom line is almost all of the people reported treating themselves and their spouse, some kind of a treat, maybe a dinner, maybe a trip, maybe a something. Helping family members, maybe in need, maybe for a wedding, whatever family and friends might need. Reaching out to friends and helping friends, and also helping complete strangers. So many of you contributed a few weeks ago when we did a special collection for Maui relief. Maybe you knew somebody who was affected on Maui. Chances are you probably didn't, and you gave anyway, right? The good news is, my friends, we're not the only ones on the planet who are doing that. That brings a smile to my face. So what I wanted to share with you here is the core conclusion from the vast body of research that is appearing around generosity is, the point is, across a wide range of experiments in widely diverse populations, one finding stands out. In particularly, no human society examined under controlled conditions have the majority of people consistently behaved selfishly. Consistent scientific research says nobody consistently behaves selfishly. Now that gives me hope. That brings a smile to my face. That helps me understand and feel like we're not the only ones doing the work that we're doing. So where are you generous? Where does that show up in your life? It shows up with your family. It certainly shows up in this community in so many ways, again, of time, of talent, of treasure. And as we explore prosperity and abundance, we're looking beyond money. right? To be clear, we're going to talk about money. Money is God in action. It's okay to talk about money in church. It's necessary to talk about money in church. Yes, we're going to talk about money. If that's a hang up, let's talk about it, because we're going to talk about it, okay? I just want to be clear with where we're heading. And prosperity and abundance means so much more. We know that with every passing day on the planet. It means our health. It means our wellness. It means our spiritual well-being. It means our relational connection. So as we step into prosperity and abundance, we are casting the broadest net possible. So wherever you are on that journey of being worthy or unworthy of prosperity and abundance in any of those areas, join us on this journey. Because where you are strong and powerful and grounded, somebody else in one of these small groups could really benefit from your wisdom and your support. And where you're not feeling as grounded, somebody can offer their support to you. So, as I was listening to Marcia and as we were reviewing the announcements for today, I was like, wow, that's really cool. We have not only one human, not only two humans, but we have three humans in the foyer of the lobby here to support you, ready to sign you up, ready to support you on your journey, whatever that looks like. And part of me is reminded of one of the few times Jesus got angry was with the money changers in the temple. And yet we're inviting people into our foyer and we want you to talk to them. So as a benefit of that, I've shared with you a couple of times, my dear friend Kathy Hobbs made her transition last year at 101 and a half years old. And one of Kathy's journeys in life was to spread angel coins. Whatever your belief, whatever power you give them or not, Kathy just spread angel coins. And she left me more than my fair share. And she said, David, will you continue to spread the word / spread the angels? So I thought today would be a great day to incentivize all of you that, on your way out, on your way to fellowship, on your way to your beautiful holiday weekend, if you stop at one or more of our tables, if you stop and talk with Rick about the wand workshop next weekend and what can I create for myself or for gifts or for whatever, he's got some great examples back there. If you stop and talk to Susan about, now what does this Adventures in Prosperity look like? I want to sign up for a group, but I can only do online, or I can only do Thursday nights. If you stop and have a conversation with Susan and get signed up, or if you stop and talk to Yolanda about, guess what? Cookbooks, or she can sign you up for the newsletter or anything else that you need help connecting with at our church, you will get your very own angel coin. Right? So stop by, have a conversation with somebody in person, face to face, and you will become prosperous and abundant in so many areas of your life. Speaking of people, we shared electronically that our guest speaker last week, Reverend Dr. Nathaniel Granger, contacted us and let us know Sunday afternoon that he tested positive for COVID. We have been in touch with him. He's doing very well this week. I spoke with him. I texted with him. Yolanda actually stopped by his house and got a tour of his home. So Dr. Granger is doing very well. We have learned of some people getting COVID, not from our service. They contracted COVID when they were not with us. So as far as we know, that is the status report here. So if you'd like to wear a mask, feel free. If you would prefer not to wear a mask, we are not at a point of mandating anything yet. And I just wanted to provide you that health update. So on to prosperity and abundance. As we look at then casting that broader net that I was talking about, defining prosperity and abundance, I think I shared before that during my time in Up With People, we were in Mexico, and I had my wealthiest host family, and we had our separate casita, and we had our own serving staff, we had a housekeeper, we had a cook, and I was like, yes, I could live here, thank you very much. And when we finished our performance, we were to meet the bus and go on to our next city. And our host father said, you work so hard, why don't I sail you up the coast in my yacht to your next city? And you can just take another day or two, And I was 18. I had barely turned 18. And I was afraid that if I looked sideways, I was going to get sent home. So, whether in integrity or out of fear, I said no thank you and met the bus. And when we traveled to our next city, then, it happened to be Easter Sunday. And not unlike Unity, we acknowledged everybody's holy days and everybody's national days. So those who were interested created an Easter service for all of us to participate in. So what was Easter? Easter was a message that was channeled by Jesus, right? So that was our Easter Sunday service, primarily in Spanish with a little bit of English. And then we had our host pick up that day for that city, and that was my most modest host family in 2 years. They didn't have a vehicle. We carried our luggage, whatever the distance was to their home, down dirt roads. We stayed outside on their patio in hammocks. And they provided a meal for us. And my friend who I was traveling with, my fellow castmate, happened to be Mexican, happened to be a very wealthy Mexican, and he was not impressed. He was not interested in this learning experience in his home country. And I was doing what I could to soak it in. And so we were sitting at the table. The family, 5 or 6 people, were all sitting around us, watching us eat. They put down this meal in front of us, and it was a fish head. And I thought, I'm interested in learning as much as the next person, and perhaps this is a good place for a line. And so I was, respectfully passing on the fish head, and they just burst out laughing. They wanted to see how far the gringo would go, right? And then they brought out dinner, and we ate, and we enjoyed it, and so on and so forth. So, my point in all of that is, generosity appears in so many different ways. There is generosity of spirit. There is generosity of kindness. There is generosity of resources. And those are all of the things that we are going to be experiencing and sharing together. So the fast forward then, I know many of you are on social media. Rick and I are on social media. I'm on perhaps a little bit too much. I had a memory pop up this week from 4 years ago. Rick and I were featured speakers at the Big Sky Retreat in Montana. And what we were doing at the time, some of you may have heard our little spiel for that. I introduced myself, I'm Dr. David Goldberg, and Rick would say, and I'm psychic Rick Finbow, and together we are, and we'd chime in stereo, theministerandthemystic.com. So that was what we were doing then as the Minister and the Mystic. So Rick would do readings for people, and then I would join them on the platform, and I would do a grounding prayer as we pray to help them put it into immediate application. So we got this memory that the Minister and the Mystic had appeared at the Big Sky Retreat. And one of the things that sticks out for me, some of our dear friends were there who you all will have a chance to meet. But our friend Barbara turned 70 4 years ago, and we had her party there. And the other thing is, Rick and I were having dinner. We got in a little bit early, and we were just having dinner in the resort coffee shop. And this couple, actually we were on the patio, and this couple walks up to us, and they said, "Hi, you're David. You're the publisher of Science of Mind magazine, and you're Rick. You're that internationally renowned psychic." And we're kind of like, "Yes, and you are." And they said, "We are Sheila and Marcus Gillette." And Sheila channels the entity known as Theo. Now, I have to tell you, I have followed Abraham Hicks for 20-ish years, Rick even longer, and I was not familiar with Theo. And so they sat down, had a lovely dinner, human to human, in all of our physicalness and all of our humanness. Got to know about Theo, got to know them as humans, got to know Sheila as the entity that channels Theo. And I learned a whole lot during that chance meeting, and perhaps not so chance. And for any of you who have followed the Hicks, Esther and Jerry / Abraham, they started in the mid-'80s. Any of you who are familiar with the Hicks know that they credit Theo with being their teacher. So Esther Hicks was being Esther Hicks. She was having a very successful, a very lovely life. She was not on a spiritual path. She was secular. She was not meditating. She was very happy. And for whatever reason, she and Jerry were called to schedule an appointment with the entity Theo. And as they sat, the message that kept coming through is, entities have messages for you. And she's like, yeah, that's awesome. And went back to Jerry and went back to her grandkids and went back to whatever. And it was only after a period of months and becoming familiar with meditation and sitting in meditation that the entity known as Abraham started to appear and come through Esther Hicks. So my question for those of us who are skeptical, and I count myself among us, what channels do I choose to believe, and what channels make me a little scratchy or make me a little nervous? Do I believe that Jesus was a channel? Was Jesus channeling the Word of God? Were any of the holy people channels of their particular faiths or their particular traditions? And if so, why is it that somebody who is closer to my age, who is closer to my humanness, who is a little more relatable to me, why is it somebody like that makes me nervous? And so as we continued to be with that, and we continued to talk, and we continued to process, we were walking around and doing our thing and visiting with the conference attendees at Big Sky. And we walked out from dinner, and kind of back behind the restaurant, kind of back behind the dumpsters, we were just taking a moment, I won't say fresh air, but we were taking a moment of stepping away from so many people. And Sheila, who channels Theo, was on the ground stretching out, and her husband Marcus was helping her stretch. It seems as though the physical being channeling the entity of Theo had a stiff back. So what does that mean? She gets to channel these entities. She gets to share information as she is called and as people are called. And she's still very human in her humanness. When Rick and I were on a cruise a year and a half ago, we were on our first Abraham cruise. And it happened to be Esther Hicks's 73rd birthday as a part of the cruise. So she came out that day, and of course, she has her groupies, And she came out, and everybody started singing happy birthday, and she was going, shh, shh. She was just teasing like she didn't want people to know. And she was having a great time, and then she started doing one of these things I shared with you. And she said, they were rushing me this morning. All of these people telling me I had to get down here, that we had a full house, that we were rushing, and blah, blah, blah. And she said, I think I glued my eye together with my eyelash glue. Now, here is this extraordinary being who is channeling other earthly entities, I might add, to the benefit of millions of people around the planet, having a very human moment with her eyelash glue. Does that make her less attractive to me, or does that make her more attractive to me? And I had not seen Esther / Abraham before in person. And to be in Esther's presence is just extraordinary. as she says, rampage of appreciation. So grateful to be able to be in that space, to hear her, to feel her, to sense her energy, and connect with Abraham in that way. So she did her thing. She did her thing about, in her humanness and her birthday, and then, this just made me smile, hopefully you'll appreciate it. She's sitting there doing a one-on-one. She puts people in what they call the hot seat if they want to ask Abraham questions. So somebody says something about, well, we want to honor that today is your 73rd birthday. And we would be remiss if we didn't also acknowledge that you're probably closer to the end of your life than you are the beginning of your life. What's going to happen to Abraham and all of these rich teachings and all of these great messages? What's going to happen to Abraham when Esther dies? And everybody starts nodding and being very concerned, and everybody's very much thinking about this. And Abraham, coming through Esther, says, Esther is very grateful for all of the birthday wishes this year and every year. And Esther would also very much appreciate it if those who love and care so much for her would stop focusing on her physical demise. And then she went right into, Abraham happens to be the person who is using Esther to channel information. That information is available to all of us. How is that different from Jesus the Christ telling us, this and even greater things you shall do? Maybe not word for word, maybe not telling you what to do and how to do it, but Jesus was really clear. I'm not the great exception. You can do this too. You must do this. This is what we are all here to do. So we had our first facilitator training for our Adventures in Prosperity program. Thank you, Verd and Jarla. Thank you so much for sharing your great love and extreme knowledge and high consciousness. And part of the conversation came up around why did we pick this particular book? Why are we doing a channeled material? And how does that relate? How does that connect with who we are as a unity community? And I love having that conversation. So first of all, you've heard me say, I think there's a whole lot of channeled material out there that we may or may not identify as channeled. Secondly, I think that talking about asking it is given, learning to manifest your desires is absolutely a unity message. It is about being clear in our thinking. It is about everything being created twice, once internally and once externally. And also, what I shared with the group is we are creating, or we have created, a 48-page workbook that you will receive for free when you sign up to participate in this study program and in one of these groups. And this 48-page booklet was written by Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, formerly with the First Unity Spiritual Campus in St. Petersburg, Florida, for 18 years. So if Temple's name sounds familiar, for some of you, Temple's going to be joining us on the cruise in January. She's one of our featured speakers and one of our dear friends. And Temple is also the person who literally wrote the book on how to speak unity by Temple Hayes. So for those who are wanting to be aware of the powerful unity connection, the 48-page workbook we're using was written by a unity minister, and at the bottom of every other page, it says, copyright First Unity Spiritual Campus. So yes, we're working with channeled materials. And yes, we're working with a unity publication written by a unity minister in a unity church. So hopefully that will answer some questions that you might have in that realm. Another thing that I so appreciate for me and my learning as I continue to take classes, and I offer this for you if there's anything here for you, Many of you know, are familiar with Emily Cady, Dr. Emily Cady, an early metaphysician, a contemporary of the Fillmores. In this notebook, on the first page of the workbook we're going to be using, we offer this quote from Dr. Emily Cady. In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside, for the time being, all previous theories and beliefs. Good thought. Don't know if I can do that. By doing so, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the course to put new wine into old wineskins, as we hear in Luke 5:37. If there is anything as we proceed that you do not understand or agree with, just let it be passively in your mind until you have read the entire book. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little further on. So I invite you to join me in that journey. Please have a conversation with Susan. We have 7 or 8 facilitators all hosting at different times. A couple online, the rest in person in people's homes. And it's going to be an extraordinary deep dive into this material. Also, I wanted to salute you all. This is the book, Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires. Esther and Jerry Hicks actually wrote this book in 2004 at the request of Louise Hay. I don't know if any of you have heard of Louise Hay, if you've heard of Hay House. Louise Hay was actually a religious science practitioner. And the foreword of the book is written by Dwayne Wyo. It's written by Wayne Dyer. And he too says that it's some of the most powerful work that he is familiar with. So that's what we're going to be up to. During the 7 weeks, the couple of weeks that I'm not here, our guest speakers will be speaking to those particular chapters in the book that are on the monthly calendar that you will have in advance. They know what we're doing. One of them is our beloved Christina Allen. Christina, you know Christina. She already has her talk done. David, does this work? I want to make sure it fits with what we're talking about. And our second speaker in October is Reverend Dr. Michelle Medrano, who was here last week for our MLK service. Michelle is on board. Michelle loves Abraham. She knows what chapters we're going to be reading that week. And honestly, she may or may not speak to any of it. And if you heard Michelle, you know that there's always something powerful there for you. So my friends, I spend that much time on this to let you know that this isn't a book we pulled off the shelf to say, oh, wouldn't this be fun? Wouldn't this stir up some dust for people? This is something that we entered into with thought. This is something that we entered into with high consciousness. This is something that has been used in at least 2 other unity communities. This is something that I personally think will benefit all of us. It's up to you to decide what you need and want to get out of it. And there's no cost to participate in the program. We have heard you. Some of the things that we have been offering have been in different price ranges. Some have been higher range, some have been mid-range, some have been low range. This is no range. There is no cost to participate in this program. So that is a bit about what we're talking about. That's a bit about what we're thinking about. The other thing that I wanted to share with you, happened to be a football fan. Did anybody have a chance to watch the CU game yesterday? Anybody care? Okay. Yeah. I didn't watch it either. What? CU won. They did, absolutely, for the first time in a really long time. And my point is, a lot of credit is being given to their, multi-million-dollar coach, and a lot of credit is deserved. He is awesome, he is strong, he is powerful. He is not, I would not say that he is lucky. I would say that he is prepared. And in terms of Abraham, I would say that he is aligned. So that is what we get to continue to explore and experience throughout, right? In all of the different aspects and everything that we're doing. Yeah, we'll save that one for another day. Something to look for. Oh, no, it's all good. So anyway, so all you have to do is order your book, Asking It Is Giving. That's your only investment. The weekly class is free. The Sunday talks are free. And it's going to be an amazing adventure starting in 2 weeks, starting on the 17th. It's a very easy read. So please get it and check it out. And let's have some conversations among us. I'm happy to speak with anybody at any time about it. And yeah, the final piece I guess I will share with you is when we were having our board retreat, we met at Patricia's beautiful home on Friday night, and the board was kind enough to offer a birthday cake for Rick and me that was coming the following week, and they were also very compassionate in offering a sympathy card to me. As one of my best friends, dear friends, colleague, mentor, fill in all of the adjectives, made her transition a couple of weeks ago in the middle of August, Dr. Gail Browning. And as I was reflecting with Gail's service coming up about what I learned, right, as humans we get to do that. How can I carry forward her legacy? How can I honor her? I was thinking about having a conversation with Gail. We just had lunch in the first week in July. And she said, just turned 82, had a couple of bouts with cancer. She said, I was thinking for a long time about, this is a great second half of my life. And then she said, within the past few years, I was like, this is a great final quarter of my life. And she said, David, it was only within the past year that I started thinking, this has been a great final 10th of my life. And I look at her, and she's great, and she drove her sports car to lunch, and she's got on her great clothes, and her hair is the outrageous as it's ever been. And she looks at me, and she says, and I'm absolutely fine with that. And as I reflect on what I learned from her, I learned this generosity of spirit. I learned this acceptance of people in a whole different way. Gail is the one who led the group when I traveled to Kenya to do 3 weeks of service work in the orphanage. Gail is the one who said, this may be an orphanage for HIV positive and kids living with AIDS in Kenya, and let's go to the Sunday service, because the orphanage is run by by Catholic priests from India. So you may or may not understand anything that's going on, and it's important to show up. It's important to be there. When we're hiking down the Lugga with the Masai Mara, with the clansmen from the Maasai on the Mara, and we are watching their ecstatic ritual of jumping and how high they can jump equates to how grateful they are for everything they have. I don't understand it, and I love it, and it's speaking to my heart. Gail is the one who said, David, this culture has something to offer you. So that is the spirit that I bring this work to you, my friends. Maybe you love Abraham. Maybe you followed Abraham for decades, as I have. Maybe this is new to you. Maybe you don't know anything about it. Maybe there's some fear in there. All of that is good. All of that is real. All of that is true. All of that is necessary. And I'm not telling you not to believe or not to engage in any of that. All I'm saying is, let's explore together. Let's learn together so you can be more clear, about if this is something that resonates with you that you want to pursue or not, right? I am not here. Nobody in this room is here to tell you what to believe. We are here to provide you with choices and help you explore the options that best fit your soul path. Will you join me in prayer? How good it is to be on my soul path with these extraordinary beings, with these bright lights, with these giant souls who are saying yes to the cosmic invitation of peace, of plenty, of prosperity, of goodness, of kindness, of love, of generosity. Not that we needed proof, but we continue to gain scientific proof that we are the ones that we've been waiting for, that kindness is in, that generosity is ours for the seeking, not from a place of ego or narcissism, but from a place of divine reciprocity, from a place of absolute yes, from a place of connection that cannot and will not be denied. So as we step into this work, I know that affirmation for each and every one of us, that when we ask, it is given, that when we knock, the door is open. That is simply the law. There's no struggle, there's no strife, there's no stress. So in this time, in this place, in this work together, we get the opportunity to try softer. We get to breathe. We get to support our beloveds. We get to support ourselves. And we absolutely know at the core of our being that all is well. I release, I let go, I allow it to be. We anchor this together by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so I am.
And so I am.
And so we are.
And so we are.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, my friends, is the opportunity for us to move into that place of conscious giving. If our ushers would come forward, please. Each week, we say thank you, because that is what we know to be true. Each week, we know when we say thank you, that you in turn say thank you. So we bless, we love, we honor, we cherish these gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you, as we continue to pay it forward. And, excuse me, yes, please.
This message resonates so deeply for me today. This is a song that I got, I guess you could call it channeling from Jesus. Inside you, I am real, I am here. Inside you, I am real, I am here. Inside you. I am real, I am here inside you. am eternal, ever grateful. I am yours and you are mine, ever present in this moment. Rest in me, my precious child. I am real, I am here inside you. I am real, I am here inside you. And in this blessed journey that we take from day to day, rest assured my heart and yours are together on the way. I am real, I am here inside you. I am real, I am here inside you. I'm here inside you.
Thank you, Joe. Please join us again soon.
Thank you, David.
If our ushers would come forward, please. So we are so grateful for the overflow of prosperity and abundance, for those who choose to give every week as they join us, for those who choose to give online, for those who choose to give automatically. We bless and love it all. We know that money is God in action, and we are so grateful for the trust as we support the greater good, taking our message of oneness and love to the world. All is well, and so it is. And speaking of all is well with the world, my friends, if you would join me as we step into our blessing of the children, of this community, and of the world. Let's rub our hands together to get that energy flowing as we offer this blessing. You are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings you are. And that is what we know to be true. And we offer this song not only for the children of the world, but for each and every one of us.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love.
And so that is what we know going forward in this day and every day as we live the concept of Namaste. The divinity in me blesses and recognizes the divinity in you. You are the face of God. I recognize that, I honor that, I believe that, I feel that, and I love you for that. And as we go forth then, let us speak our prayer for protection. knowing that we are always one, that we are always connected, that we are always protected. Please join me. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so, my friends, go in power, go in peace. Please stay in your seats, join hands if you choose, and have a brilliant week. Stay in your rows. Yeah.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be